Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rogue Legacy 2 in Early Access. So Rogue Legacy is the direct sequel to Rogue Legacy 2 is the direct sequel to Rogue Legacy 1, which is a procedurally, randomly generated dungeon that you get to explore over and over again with different characters. It is roguelite or roguelike, depending on your preferred nomenclature, and basically this is the gist of it. Essentially, you have different characters with different traits, equipments, and abilities, and so on and so forth, and you go into a dungeon, you explore it, you fight monsters, you collect gold, you make progress with, both killing bosses and unlocking parts of the story, and so on and so forth, and then you go back to your castle, you spend the gold that you've earned to unlock new characters, basically progress the game via dying, which is a fairly interesting concept, and the original Rogue Legacy was much beloved. This game, however, is receiving a little bit of negativity and criticism in the sense that people are saying that it doesn't have a whole lot of content, and whilst I don't exactly know, that's horrible. This is a first impressions video, so I can't really tell. Also, I'm utterly horrible at the game and can't seem to make any meaningful progress whatsoever, but, that aside, and I'm hoping you'll forgive me, the game is really, really fun to play, and the progression mechanics make it not only extremely unique, but make it a fun experience. However, all that said and done, however, there are some problems with the game that even I, in a very limited, let's say, time that I've played it, and with very, very, very limited skills at my disposal, have noticed, and that is stuff like that. Jumping and moving is a little bit awkward. Maybe it's just me, but jumping, due to the way it works, is the longer you hold the spacebar or the A key on the keyboard, I've played with both, the longer you're going to move, the higher you're going to jump. It makes it a little bit weird. Some of the hitboxes, as demonstrated, are a little bit unusual. For example, I would think that if I hit the spikes from the top, I would get hurt, but touching them a little bit from the side wouldn't kill me, except it does. A lot of the enemies, I would think if I touch a harmless skeleton that doesn't have a weapon, that would, not exactly kill me, but no, that took away a quarter of my, or a third of my health. Yeah. That's kind of weird. So let's try again. Sorry about that. That was rather embarrassing. Even I tend to do better, but I'm focusing on what I'm saying rather than how I'm playing. But those are relatively minor things. The one big complaint I have about the game, and really the only complaint I have about the game, and this is again on top of everything that I really, really like about it, the progression, the characters, the various traits that your characters have. I think that's a very, very cool addition to the game. Basically, your characters will have different traits, and these will be either positive or negative, but, if you have a negative trait, then you make more gold. If you have a positive trait, then, you have a positive trait. Congratulations, there's really not much to it. Some of them are really, really fun and quirky, like, I've had vegan in a run, which basically means that the character cannot heal with meat, which is the primary source of healing. But he earns 50% more gold. So, even though you're gonna die a lot quicker than you would with a different character, you still end up wanting to play as that, both a little bit for the challenge, but also for the gold. And now on to my only complaint about the game. In my experience, again, this is just me, the game's pretty difficult, right? This looks like there's a secret treasure up there. Indeed, there is. Lovely. So, on one hand, the game is fairly difficult, right? At least for me. Some people are saying that it's relatively easy. Personally, again, subjective opinion, the game is kinda difficult, right? Challenging, not annoyingly difficult, just challenging, and besides, dying is progressing, so really the game doesn't have much to apologize for in its difficulty. That said, though, that is horribly stupid of me, and I now want to go back and heal. luckily I have the option. I do have the option, right? Was it down here? I'm pretty sure I left some meat behind. Does it disappear if you... Oh. It disappears, does it? Ah, damn it. Okay, that's gonna lead into the next segment of the video, but that's okay. Oh, thank Christ. Gotcha, okay. Now, I'm probably gonna die jumping over this. Yeah. The hitboxes are... I don't know. See, I would expect if I touch spikes from a side, then I'm not gonna die, but... Or, like, barely touch them with a pixel, but, you know, there goes the third of my health. Anyways, my main complaint, though, about the game is not that. Even though I'm utter dog shit at it, as can be seen. My main complaint about the game, I really like these. Charismatic, less gold. Something money down, so I don't know. Well, let's try it. I do need to learn all the traits. There are so many traits, by the way. I've played the game... I've restarted the game. Let me correct myself there. I've restarted the game a fair number of times to know that there are so many traits. Anyways, what is this? Max weight capacity? Sure, let's just go with that. Don't know really what that does, but okay. 15% gold discount from shop keeps. That's... Huh. Alright. The main complaint, after like 10 minutes of trying to get to it, is the game inflates this difficulty by hiding enemies and hiding obstacles and stuff like that from you. Now, it doesn't happen in all the rooms, and I dare say it doesn't happen most of the time, but it does happen often enough to be noticed and, to, you know, to be annoying. So what I mean is, like, okay, you'll have a room like this, in which everything is visible, and I know how to tackle it, and I know how to dodge stuff, and what to pay attention to. But then if I drop down, I could be dropping onto spikes. See, it's not unheard of for that right there to be spikes. It's not super often, like I said. Most of the time it does give you a fair shot and a fair fight at you know, winning. But, and completely not damaging, and it's not damaging yourself and avoiding getting hit. But very often, I mean, you don't know what's below. You drop, and especially if you have a tendency to take things a little bit more slowly, as with the archer you really should, because you have no defense up close whatsoever, apart from the arrows. Well, and you have this superpower, but yeah, a lot of people have that superpower. Anyways. So yeah, this could be spikes, and then you're desperately trying to move over to the right, but by the time you've seen it, you're already hitting the spikes, and your character's dead if you haven't been paying a lot of attention, and you've taken a little bit of silly damage every now and again. And the hitboxes, and the fact that there's a difference in jumping, like slightly high and very high, and that it's... I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I don't like that as a mechanic in some respects. I understand that it's useful, that it fits the game and whatnot, but it makes it so that... Okay, that's my mistake. It makes it so that you take damage unnecessarily until you get used to it, and it's a little bit awkward to get used to. But, you know, after a few hours of gameplay, you're going to get used to that. It's not going to be really worth mentioning at all. Again, after a certain period of time. So, you know, this is a first impressions video, and that's what I'm giving you. Oh, I've completely forgotten about those. See, that's what I mean. You can't jump very high in that room, and it feels a little bit cheesy, is I guess my problem. It feels a tiny bit cheesy, and see there, I'd expect that to go through, and I'd expect that to go through, but it doesn't. And I'd expect that to sort of go down, and yeah, okay, it does, but that doesn't. It's things like that in the hitboxes that are not necessarily poorly made or it's a design flaw or something. It's just that it's a little bit awkward and a little bit difficult to get used to. That said, though, the game does have a fair bit of variety. Fairy chests don't get hit. Oh god. Oh god. You see? Again, that up there could have been on fire when I jumped. Thankfully it wasn't, but it could have been. Actually, I actually don't know if it could have been if it's scripted to not light up as soon as you jump. Maybe it is, but there are situations like that is my point. And really... Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, no. I'm terrible at platforming. Oh well, you know. It was semi-decent. We've killed 15 enemies. I think the average is around like 3,000 to 4,000 before you die. I'm kidding, but I've seen some people that are really, really good at the game. Again, my goal here is not to review the game. My goal here is to give you a noob's first impression at the bloody thing, right? So let's go with no traits. No, that's not fun. Sod it. Let's go with no traits this time round. But yeah, that's effectively the game, and I feel like once you've seen a little bit of it, you've seen all of it, and you know whether you'll be drawn into something like this or not. Now, in the brief periods of actual focus, and when my brain is working properly, which is not at like 3 AM in the morning, which is when I'm recording this, I have actually been able to progress a little bit through the story, and I believe I've mucked it up at the end, but essentially, as you explore through the dungeon, you will encounter certain bosses, you will encounter certain story elements, and so on and so forth that that will allow or enable some more permanent progression. That will tell you a little bit more about what's going on. But that's, you know, effectively this is the core gameplay, and this is what you're doing for, you know, most of the game. If not all of the game. Alright. With that said, let's try and focus a little bit more, and not muck things up utterly. I feel like aggression is good. I feel like if you take things too slowly, like I've been doing, you're gonna do like I've been doing, which is not good. No, didn't mean to pick that up. Well, actually, I think if I don't pick it up, it just wastes away, right? Can it go through? No, it can't. Okay. But I can hit you through this. Oh! Oh, that's good. For once, I am the one with the unfair advantage. Okay. Very amusing. Are you gonna try and hit me if I, like... No, okay, then hit, jump, hit, jump. Let's wait for this thing to leave the area, because it will do damage to me. Okay, good. Slow and steady wins the race, or whatever. J. The rumors are true. The Golden Gates are real. I found them. The gates will only open when all the estuaries have been gathered together. Huh. Insight discovered. The return. It's a shame you can't click it. But yeah, there you go. So, I've completed Aesop's challenge in the Citadel Agara, whatever. And I haven't proved my worth to Aesop, though, so, you know, I've mucked up the jumping puzzle there. I think. I'm pretty sure I remember doing that. There's also the return, open the Golden Gates, defeat the estuaries to open the Golden Gates. That is, I'm assuming, a boss. And I've discovered a blueprint for leather armor. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I've made more progress in the last few minutes than on, you know, on all the previous runs that I've done during this video. And that annoys me greatly as well. I take damage if I touch the skeletons. Come on, I'm a knight in full plate armor, and I take damage if I ever so slightly touch a skeleton. Come on, what, does he ruin my purity as a knight? Eh. Oh, well, okay, I suppose I didn't murder your friend like that, but... But that didn't hit me, even though her spear was clearly in my face. That didn't hit me. You know. Little bits like that take away from my enjoyment, but most of the... Or that, in which I tried to do this, but ended up getting on top. See, I tried to do that, but that then hits you. You know. Like I said, it's not ideal, and I'm actually already on 15 health. Wow, this was brief. Okay, there is a knife over there, which is immune to fire. Okay, throw. Hit. Hit. No, you come to me. I'm seriously injured, please. No, you have to come to me. The thing is, you have to come to me, though. Okay, good. And we've opened up another chest. See, now this is actually some moderately decent progress. 530 gold. We can actually unlock something with this run now. See? And we've discovered a new quest that we need to do, which is kill the, something. Wow, that is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. That is genuinely gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But that is a somewhat, at least somewhat decent... Well, it's really not that decent, but it's something at least, you know, it's something. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it there and stop embarrassing myself. I swear I do slightly better when I shut up and I'm focusing. But it is a tough game. People say it's lacking content, people have, you know, reached the end game, but, you know, depends on how good you are at it. If you're trash like me, it's not lacking content, there's plenty for you to grind. But it is an early access, you can give it a shot. It's a pretty simple concept, executed relatively well. There are a few, like, annoying things, like I mentioned, but I think that's mostly down to personal preference and taste and flavor, rather than, you know, actual design decisions that can be objectively criticized. I think a lot of those things are just, like, bugging me a little bit because of the way my brain works, or maybe because of the other games I've played of this style. Maybe to most people this is a non-issue, so I don't know. But basically this has been the video. Well, this has been the video game, even. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and want to stay tuned with the rest of the content I produce on the channel. Most of the games that I play on the channel I'm not this trash at, but, you know, well, you know, not this trash at, still not great. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a different clip. Until then, though, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.